identify the critical variables in enhancing the productivity. Okay, this one you can read later. Okay. So basically, okay, because you don't undergo the industrial training yet, but normally for production is about the creation of goods and services. Okay, so meaning any production line, okay, they are trying to produce goods. Or if let's say right now I'm a lecturer, so we don't have the production line, but I provide the service to the students. Okay, so the service industries, for example, hospital, university, banking, so all these, we also will implement the operations management. Because why? We try to improve and we try to maximize the productivity. Okay. So what is the operations management? Operation management is a set of activities that create value in the form of goods and services by transforming inputs into outputs. Okay. All the activities that we have to create value in order to transform the inputs into outputs. So for example, for manufacturing company, they have the raw material. So raw material is under input. From raw material, they will process, they will transform these raw materials into the finished goods. So the output will be finished goods. Okay. Similar with lecturing. So the input is the knowledge. So the output is the performance of the students. So we are trying to create the value in order to transform all the knowledge that we are given to the students to for the students to graduate. So that is transform inputs into outputs. Okay. So yang ni kita boleh skip. Ini boleh skip. Ni boleh baca lah. Okay. So a little bit on supply chain, where a global network of organizations and activities that supply a firm with goods and services. So whatever global networks in the organization, including farmer, syrup producer, bottler, distributor, retailer, okay. So all these networks, activities. So at the end of this network, they will supply the products to end customer. So that is the supply chain means. Okay. So second is members of the supply chain collaborate to achieve high levels of customer satisfaction, efficiency and competitive advantage. So every members of supply chain, they have to collaborate together in order to make sure their end customer that they serve is satisfied with their products and services. Okay. So on top of operations management in the one organization, okay, then you expand into several organizations that we call it as supply chain in order to satisfy end customer. So after the customer satisfied, then you also have to provide all the services and output with the efficiency and competitive advantage. Okay. If let's say you have a question, then you just raise the question during the lecture. Okay. So why we have to study the operations management? So the first reason is about operations management is one of three major functions of any organization So we want to study how people organize themselves for productive enterprise. Okay, if let's say, okay, company A, they have 10 workers, and then company B, they have 15 workers, and then at the end of the day, company A can produce the product similar quantity with the company B. Okay, so when we compare company A and company B, company A has lesser number of laborers compared to company B. So that is, we call it as productive, where they use a minimum, or they use, we can say minimum, they use a minimum input in order to produce maximum output. Okay. Similar with the COVID situation right now, most of the companies are struggling in the market. The company have to run with they have to pay the labor cost, they have to pay the overhead, they have to pay the raw material, okay, and then the number of demands is reducing. So how they want to survive? They cut number of laborers. So the labor those labor remain in the company, they have to do one or two works at one time. So that is the productivity, how they increase their productivity. Okay. All right. So second, we want and need to know how goods and services are produced, and we want to understand what operations managers do. Okay. And lastly, operations management is such a costly part of an organization, because in order to produce the products, we have to include all the costs. So we don't want to produce the products with higher costs. So we have to think how to reduce the costs. So that is a productivity lah. Okay. Because money or modal is under input. Okay, this one we can reduce, we can skip. Operations managers, okay, this one just FYI, operations managers will do the planning, organizing, staffing, leading and controlling. This one we can skip. Okay. About the strategic decisions, first is about design of goods and services. Okay, you have to know what is the required for operations, and then when we design the products or services, it also will include the quality. Okay. So how we want to check the quality of the products, so that is under quality chapter. Okay. And then how we want to manage the quality in order to make sure the customer satisfied with the product that we produce. So we will learn about the CP and CPK, SPC tools. Okay. And about process and capacity design, we will learn at the production line how to make sure the capacity meet the target. Okay, we will learn this under capacity chapter. Okay, location we don't cover, but only for FYI. Okay, previously we covered the location strategy, but since last 2 semesters we don't cover the locations topics, because normally for location, in order to determine which location is suitable for the company, company is already predetermined the location. Okay, so for example, we have KFC. Why KFC? They set up, McDonald. Okay, why McDonald they set up at the Ion Taman U as well as Jalan Skudai. And we also have McDonald dekat mana lagi? Jalan Sutera. Okay, so the distance is very close because they already study, okay, where is the high demand of the customer. Okay, so that's why we don't cover the location in this chapter. Okay, layout also we don't cover. Human resource and job design we don't cover. Supply chain only FYI. Okay, inventory. So under production line, we have to cover the inventory. So what is the inventory means? Inventory is the stock. It's a stock of raw material, it's a stock of partial products, and it's a stock for end product, finished goods. So we have to know, okay, how many, when we want to order the material, how long we have to hold the products. What about the cost? When we deliver the products, okay, what is the minimum quantity that we have to send out to the customer? Because it will relate with the cost. So that is under inventory management. Okay, scheduling. Scheduling also we will skip under scheduling. Maintenance, we will skip a little bit. Okay, just FYI. Okay. All right. So, okay, this one you can read by yourself. We will go for, ini tak perlulah. Okay, differences between goods and services. So for example, okay, intangible, ride in an airline seats. Okay, so that is the service. For goods, is tangible, the seat itself. How many seats that we offer. Okay. For service, okay, when the customer sit in airline, do they comfortable? Do they satisfied with our service? Do they satisfied with the food? So that is service. Okay. And then beauty salon. Beauty salon, they produce a haircut that is consumed as it is produced. But for goods, the product that can usually be kept in inventory, for example, beauty care products. Okay, so for example, normally every month I will go to Mayfair Beauty Center. I will do the facial lah to clean my face. So the service that they provide, okay, we can feel it in our heart. When they talk to us, okay, when they massage our face or our body, okay, that is service. And then after they massage everything, then they will offer, okay, do you want to buy the beauty care? So that is under goods. Okay, similar with the okay, kita cari mana hospital ada tak? Hospital tak ada. Okay, if let's say for hospital, okay, medical service. So for the service, the doctor treat the patient. Okay, sometimes after we consult with the doctor and then when we go out from the doctor room, we understand, okay, what is the disease that we face. We understand clearly, okay, this medicine we have to consume because to kill the virus, everything. Okay. So in terms of knowledge sharing, in terms of consultation, in terms of the softness of the doctor treat us, so that is a service. the facilities that we use, that is also under service. So what is the goods under hospital? Anyone?
Katil dia ada.
Yang tu, okay, we can say katil lah. But it is actually macam medicine, number of medicine, okay. When they diagnose us with illness, so they have to provide the stock of the medicine have to educate. Okay. So that's why when we do the operations management, it's not only provide the services only, but in terms of goods and stocks of the in order to support the service, have to educate. For production line, for manufacturing company, that one is easy to differentiate between services and goods. But for services industry, is sometimes it's difficult to know, okay, what is the services that they provide and what is the goods that we have to link with the services that they provide. Okay. Okay, this one we can skip. Okay, now we go for the main things on productivity. Just now is only introduction. Okay. Okay, so for productivity means ratio of outputs, either goods and services, divided by the inputs, where inputs is including resources such as labor and capital. Meaning productivity P equal O output per input, O per I. Okay. So the objective to calculate the productivity is to improve the productivity from time to time. And normally for productivity, we will calculate by quarterly or by yearly, by annually. Okay. So important note, production is a measure of output only, but not a measure of efficiency. Okay. So these are the economic system where we have inputs and we have output. So what is the input? Input including labor, capital, management. So all these inputs will be transformed in the process, and then we come out with the outputs, where outputs have to be in goods and services form. Okay. Okay, yang ni kita boleh skip. Okay, productivity, as I mentioned just now, output. Okay, so what is the output? Is unit produced. Divide by input use. Okay, so we have to measure the process improvement, and it represents output relative to input. So only through productivity increases can our standard of living improve. Later you can read about the Starbucks here, where how they save 14 seconds and how they save 12 seconds. And then end up, they can increase their yearly revenue per outlet by 250,000 to 1 million in 7 years. Okay, they only improve about 27% or about 4.5% per year. But the profit or revenue that they produce is very significant. 250 to 1 million. Okay. From where? From the saving only 8 seconds per transaction, from the saving of 14 seconds per drink, and saving 12 seconds per shot. We can see for each of these is very little contribution. But when we compute at the end of the year or 7 years, it will give higher impact. Okay. Okay, so this is the productivity calculation where, okay, for example, the units produced by the company is 1,000 units and labor hours they use is 250. So we have to divide 1,000 units, unit produced, divide by 250 labor hours. So the productivity for this calculation is 4 units per labor hour. Okay. So when we divide the units produced, divide by only 1 labor hours or 1 management or 1 material, so that we call it as single factor productivity. For multi-factor, the same output, for just now the output that they produce is 1,000 units, so still 1,000 units of outputs. And then the productivity, the input, they have to total up all the labor costs, all the material, all the energy, capital, and miscellaneous. So you sum up all together to be the total of input. When you total up of this, you are actually calculate the multi-factor productivity. Okay. So we also known this multi-factor activity as total factor productivity. Normally, output and inputs, we have to express in ringgit or dollar. Because if let's say output, you only put in units, and then you cannot divide by material in kilogram. You have to convert all output in dollar or ringgit, and then all the inputs under dollar and ringgit. Okay. All right. Okay, this one we can skip later. We have about 7 minutes. Okay. Okay, we go for example. Or we stop here and then we continue the example and calculation in next class. Because 6 minutes rasanya tak sempat cover. Okay, is that okay?
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, Doktor.
Okay.
Alright, so with that, we end our class today. So next class will be on bila kita punya?
Next week,
Next week Sunday.
Monday.
Okay, Monday don't have a problem. Because Sunday saya cuti sebenarnya. Okay, so we will see you on next Monday, and then make sure you can submit the team members list by Monday. Okay. Alright, so with that we end our class with Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam,
Thank
Doktor.
you.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay, bye. Welcome.
Thank you, Doktor.
Welcome.